Hi there. It's October 18th and time for Proverbs 18. Let's jump over there. And right away in verse 1, we have something that is different in the older versions. I mean, anything, over 100 years old versus all of the newer translations, which I just find interesting. In the English Standard Version, it says, "Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire and breaks out against all sound judgment." Right? And that makes it sound like a bad thing, okay? Seeks his own desire and breaks out against all sound judgment. And over in the 1599 Geneva Bible, it says, For the desire thereof he will separate himself to seek and occupy himself in all wisdom. Okay? And there's a note here even, okay? He that loveth wisdom will separate himself from all impediments and give himself wholly to seek it. Okay? That's a good thing. We can even go further in the King James, which is 1611. Through desire, a man having separated himself seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. Now, intermeddleth means to butt in, places where you don't belong, okay? Meddles and things that's not yours. And I've done studies on this verse, and it goes both ways, okay? Some people say it's a bad thing. Some people say it can be a good thing. You decide, okay? It's just interesting that it's totally different in older versions as it is in all of the newer versions. Did they learn more, in the past 100 years about languages and writings? That's possible, okay? But we don't know. 2, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. Boy, that's the truth, isn't it? Fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may be discovered. Fools only want to tell you their own opinion. That's protesters carrying their signs. 3, when wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. When wickedness comes, contempt comes also. I don't know why that's highlighted, but we were thinking something in another study. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. Deep waters, meaning you can't reach it. Okay. Over here it says it better. The words of a man's mouth are like deep waters. And there's a note, which can never be drawn empty, but bring ever profit. The fountain of wisdom is always flowing. Okay. Interesting. 5, it is not good to be partial to the wicked or to deprive the righteous of justice. Get that? No, it is not. That's what they're doing now, right? People being partial to the wicked. Lift the face of. That's a note over here. I love these Geneva Bible notes. That is to favor him and support him, right? The wicked. Deprive the righteous of justice. That's happening. And as we get to the end times, it'll happen more and more. Okay? It'll just keep happening. Okay? It'll just keep happening. Okay, 6. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. 2 verses. A fool's mouth is his own destruction, and his lips are a snare for his soul. Keep your mouth shut, right? Fools don't, okay? And they usually get punched, okay? Just that simple. Keep your mouth shut. Whether you're a fool or a wise man, keep your mouth shut. 8, the words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels that go down to the inner parts of the body. Okay, it's a tail bear over here. Into the bowels of the belly. Innermost parts. This is gossip, okay? Again, we all know how I feel about gossip. God hates gossip, and I hate gossip. Okay. And it's addictive. It's a multi-billion dollar industry on TV and especially the internet. Getting into somebody's business that is none of your business, okay? It's our business to know what our representatives in government are doing, okay? That is our business. But somebody in another town, oh, this person did this and he did this, and that's not your business. Especially in church. We'd be whispering, okay? Gossip. Did you hear what so-and-so did? Okay, that tears apart churches. It tears apart friends. Okay? Mind your own business. Okay? It's an old adage, but it's true. Mind your own business. Okay? The old song says, if you mind your business, you won't be minding mine. Get that? And it is. It's a terrible addiction. You know, reality television is all about the drama and the gossip. And people are addicted to it. It goes down into the innermost parts, and you gotta have more. And you break out of that stuff, okay? That includes turning off your television. Verse 9, whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. Right? If you're lazy in your work, you are akin to the person who destroys things. It's a great waster, it says over here, right? 10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs to it and is safe. That's a great saying, right? That's something you should be on your wall. Something Grandma would cross-stitch in a little circle, put on your wall. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The name of God, Yahweh, Yeshua. The Lord can mean anything, okay? But they're talking about God. 11, a rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall is his imagination. I like that. In his imagination. People think their money's going to save them, but it usually gets them in much more trouble than if they didn't have money, right? Poor people don't have to worry about people coming after them. You know, they're bill collectors, but it's just fact of life. They think their wealth is what's going to save them, and it won't. Hey, 12, before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Haughty, arrogant, prideful, conceited, all means that same thing. Okay, before a man falls, his heart is haughty, arrogant, prideful, and conceited. But humility, humbleness comes before honor. That's very important. Being humble is one of the best attributes you can have. Okay, God talks about all the time about being humble. Being humble. And you will get honored, okay? It's honor if somebody else honors you, not yourself. Nobody likes that. Hey, 13. If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame, right? And this goes with the word chapter 15. We're talking about arguing, okay? And it talks about this in the book of James, too, in the New Testament. Quick to listen, slow to speak. Short words, but they have very deep meaning, okay? You should not be formulating an answer in your head while somebody's still talking to you, okay? A lot of people do. It runs rampant now. Not only will they be formulating, but they will cut the person off before they finish speaking and say, oh, and, right? It is to your shame and foolishness to do that because you don't know what they're going to say. Okay? Yeah. I've often thought texting is a better way to argue because you can't formulate your answer while they're typing. They type the whole thing, you read the whole statement, then you formulate your answer, and then you text back. That's the way conversation should be in real life as well, right? You should listen to their whole statement. Then when they finish speaking, then formulate your answer and then say it kindly. Say it in your head first. You know, if it's going to hurt that person, don't say it. If it will edify him and lift him up, say it. Right? if one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. Very important. 14, a man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? We read this before too. Okay. You can be sick. A crushed spirit, I mean, we are body, soul, and spirit, right? Just like God, body, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. But let us create him in our image. So we have three parts. The human spirit, if it gets crushed, okay, you feel totally worthless. It's hard to get out of that. Most homeless people, destitute people, their main problem is their spirit has been crushed. Okay, and it's very, very hard to build that up again. Okay. And it says this in several places. We've already read this same thing a chapter or two back. Okay. Let's highlight that. 15, an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. All right? Are we going after knowledge? That's what we're doing now. Going after knowledge. 16, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. It launcheth him. What's this note? Getteth him liberty to speak in the favor of them that are most in estimation or esteem, right? And again, it says, do not brag, do not be haughty, prideful, arrogant, conceited. If God's given you a gift, it will manifest itself. It will come out. People will seek you. It will make room for you without you having to say, I happen to be, I happen to have the gift of discernment and I can tell evil spirits. And you don't have to brag about your gifts, okay? You shouldn't brag about anything. Be humble about everything. But a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great, okay? If you have a gift, it will manifest itself, okay? 17, the one who states his case first seems right until the other one comes and examines him. Okay, that's like in courts, okay? This happens in courts. In courts, the prosecutor always goes first. The defendant always goes second, okay? And there's a reason for that, okay? The prosecutor will come up and said, this person murdered this person on this night. He was there. He took a gun and shot him and killed him, okay? And everybody's going, oh, no, he shot and killed somebody. Until the other comes and examines him, cross-examines. And the defendant will get up and say, my client did not shoot and kill this person. In fact, my client was in another state at a meeting. I have pictures. We have pictures, we have proof, we have tickets, we have receipts. He was there. He was not here at the time. So suddenly, the one who states his case first, it seems right, suddenly it's now, oh, he was wrong. This person was nowhere near there, okay? The person who talks first always seems right until the truth comes out, okay? 18, the lot puts an end to quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. They used to cast lots for everything and said it was God's decision. Now you notice football teams, big, giant, powerful, barbarian people, they will toss a little coin, a quarter. They'll toss it in the air, let it land on the ground. Whatever side it lands on, whoever picked that side gets the choice. Okay? It's just a little coin. Who decided what it would land on? We call it God. They call it fate. They call it whatever. Chance. But the lot puts an end to quarrels. Flipping a coin, right? 19, a brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. Right? Their contentions are like the bar of a palace, which for the strength of there will not bow nor yield. You offended a brother? You gossiped about him? Okay? And offended him. He told you something in confidence and you blurted it out. Or you said something stupid and offended him. Okay? The chances of getting that friend back are very slim. Okay? And trying to argue your case is like the bars of a castle. You're not going to get through to him. Okay? You offended him. Hard stuff. 20, from the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Right? Right. What you say comes back at you. If you only say good things, kind things, uplifting things, right, to everybody, right, it'll come back. And your stomach will be satisfied. Right? You'll be satisfied by the yield of your lips. That's important. Say only kind things. 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Okay, that just goes. Let's just put these together. Okay. Fruit of a man's mouth, what you say, your stomach will be satisfied. Kind, uplifting. Right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Yeah. Words are the most powerful things in the world. You can destroy somebody with words. You can save somebody with words. Right? Choose very carefully. Death and life. There's plenty of people saying mean things. Just mean, horrible things. And that'll come back at them. We'll come back at them. Okay, 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Now somebody tore this apart. He that is joined with a virtuous woman in marriage is blessed of the Lord. A virtuous woman, I like that. And you notice it says wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It doesn't say he who finds a date. It doesn't say he who finds a girlfriend. It says he who finds a wife. Yeah. And ladies, if you want a good husband, if you're searching for a husband, you need to be a wife, not a girlfriend, not a lover, not a date. Wife material. Men are looking for wife material. What is wife material? A wife will overlook a man's shortcomings, okay? It won't matter what kind of car he drives, what job he has. If he's a hardworking man that wants to do good, okay, you will be able to overlook those things. Someone who's looking for a rich man who drives a fancy car, who's over 6 foot tall, right? That's not wife material, okay? That is the surface material. It's important here that says he who finds a wife, not a girlfriend, okay? I've been married many years, and my wife, people grow differently, okay? Things go away when you're young, you're strong and virile, but you get older and things start to hurt and you get tired more often, but your wife still loves you, okay? Still is there. That's what a wife is. Be a wife. Be a wife and you'll find a good man and obtain favor from the Lord. That's important. I didn't realize how important that was until I saw a study on that particular verse. Okay. 23. The poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. The poor speaketh with prayers, but the rich answer roughly. Speaketh with prayers. Entreaties. Let's look this up. Shall we look this up? An earnest or humble request. Okay. Changed it. I liked it when it had the little thing on the side here. Earnest or humble request or prayers, right? The rich answer roughly. They do. They don't care. They think their money gives them power. Which is why people want money. They want power. Okay. Some people want to do good things. Other people just want the power that comes with it. And 24. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That is ofttimes such found which are more friendly to do pleasure than he that is more bound to duty. Right. Men of many companions may come to ruin. Partiers, thinking lots of people partying with you, right? But there's one friend who's always there through thick and thin, rich and poor, no matter what happens, right? Everybody needs a friend like that. Right? So there you go. That's Proverbs 18. Highlighted a bunch of stuff in here. Now we tore this apart. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire and breaks out against all sound judgment. That's a bad thing. In the Bible's over, 200 years old, it says, for the desire thereof he will separate himself to seek it and occupy himself in all wisdom. Okay? He that loveth wisdom will separate himself from all impediments and give himself wholly to seek wisdom. Okay? Older Bible says it's a good thing. Almost all the newer translations paints it as a bad thing. Okay? You decide which, because even in the studies and expositories and people that tear apart goes both ways. Okay. Oh, bad thing, good thing. Okay. Even the 1611 King James, we can throw that up here real quick. I can find it. There's a lot of Bible translations in this program. Through desire, a man having separated himself seeketh and it says intermeddleth with all wisdom. Intermeddle means to go places where you don't belong. Okay. And basically we'll look for wisdom everywhere, and the King James paints it as a good thing. Okay. But the other one says it's bad, so you decide. Okay. I'd like to learn Greek or Hebrew so I could go back and do it myself. See what it says. I'll do some more research on that. See what I find. Okay. 2, highlighted, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. We all know somebody like this, right? They won't listen. A person who won't listen can't be taught anything. They're just going to give you their opinion, right? Or they're usually wrong, but you can't tell them that. No. Okay, 6 and 7 go together. We highlighted those. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. Okay? Fools don't keep their mouth shut. A wise person will keep his mouth shut. Okay, will overlook things and just keep scrolling, as they say. A fool will walk into a fight, right? And his mouth is his ruin. Right? We've all seen people like this. They're all over the internet. Words of whisperer are like delicious morsels that go down into the inner parts of the belly. Gossip. I'm going to make this. Gossip is a terribly, terribly addictive thing. Getting into somebody else's business, it makes you feel better. Well, at least I'm not that bad, and you just want to hear more of the drama. You love the drama because it's addicting. It goes down into the innermost parts of your body. You can't get it out. You love that stuff, okay? If something's none of your business, you need to make it none of your business, okay? Mind your own business. I could talk for hours on that subject because I hate gossip. God hates gossip. And 10, just a good saying, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. A righteous man runs to it and is safe. And what is the name of the Lord we're talking about? Yahweh, Yeshua, Yahusha, whatever you want to call Jesus, God, Lord, Yahweh. Okay. This And I don't agree with the term of the word Lord. And even in the 1599, it says the Lord, a name of the Lord, capital L. But anybody over you in the old days was considered a Lord. Okay? You called him my Lord, which means you were under their total control. Okay? This is talking about Yahweh and Yeshua. It's important to delineate those facts. Highlighted 11, a man's rich wealth is his strong city and like a high wall in his imagination. Rich people think they're secure. They're not. And you see a lot of them falling now, man. You know, the rich people, the richer they are, the farther and harder they fall too. To up before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, arrogant, prideful, conceited. Right? Before destruction, a man is prideful, arrogant, conceited, haughty. But humility comes before honor. Humbleness comes before honor. Being humble. Being humble is a very important thing. It involves keeping your mouth shut. Right? And being humble. Are you the best at this? No. Certainly not. You know, I know how to do it, but I'm certainly not the best. Okay. And maybe you are, but you don't want to. You want to be humble. 13, if one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame, your foolishness and your shame. If you cut somebody off in the middle of their statement and rebut them before you hear what they say. Okay? That's why in courts you're not allowed to, cut people off in a court proceeding other than to say objection. Okay? But they still let them finish speaking. Right? Hear the whole thing. Don't just blurt out. In James it says, quick to listen, slow to speak. Listen fully and then speak afterwards. 14, a man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? If your human spirit gets crushed, it is unbearable. Okay? That's why I say most people that are homeless and destitute, well, why didn't you pick yourself up and get a job? And their spirit's been crushed. If your spirit's been crushed, that's hard to overcome. Okay, you have to build somebody up personally. You can't just say, here's a job, here's money. It doesn't work. Okay, we highlighted 16. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. Right. Now, some people bring cash gifts, and they come to the front. Oh, he's got a present. Or it could mean gift, like your spiritual gifts. If you believe in the spiritual gifts, you should. Right? It'll make room for you. Okay? I happen to be a singer, and I play guitar. And I never went into a church to say, I sing and I play guitar. Let me up there. I didn't. Somebody else would always say, hey, this guy really knows his stuff. And he's a very blessed worship leader. Okay. Somebody else has always put me up. And it makes room for me. Okay. Thus, the gut singer. All right. 17, the one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him, cross-examines him, right? Prosecution goes first, defendant goes second, and they usually prove the prosecution wrong if the prosecution is lying, right? It's important that they go first, right? And we highlighted 19. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. If you deeply offend your brother, break his spirit, you're not going to get him back, okay? He is not going to talk to you. More unyielding than a strong city, and trying to argue with him is like the bars of a castle. Okay? Don't do it in the first place. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say, if you only say kind and uplifting and edifying things, you won't ever have this problem. Okay? And we highlighted 20 and 21. From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Right. Like I was just saying, say only kind things, edifying things, uplifting things. If you make it a habit to only find the good and say good and edifying things, your stomach will be satisfied by the fruit of your mouth, right? And the yield of your lips will always come back to you, right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Words are the most powerful thing in the world. You can say something that will absolutely destroy somebody, or you can say something that will lift them up, okay? And we talked about this 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. A wife, okay, what's this? A virtuous woman in marriage, right? Be a virtuous woman. If you want to get a husband, you need to be a wife, okay? And a wife isn't judging somebody by the car he drives, or the job he has, how tall he is, how much money he has, right? Women want to be judged by what's in their heart, right? And how beautiful they are inside. Men want the same thing, okay? Surface, be a wife. So there you go. That's Proverbs 18. Lots of good stuff in here, you know? Lots of good stuff in here. So we'll just keep studying that, you know? And I will do a little more research on 18:1. Okay, that's a different, it says different things in different periods of history, okay? Old history, to separate yourself and occupy yourself with wisdom and to seek wisdom was a good thing. But now, in the last 100 years, it's a bad thing. So 200 years, I'll look into that. But stay tuned later today. We're on Through the Bible in a Year, day 292, I believe, or something like that. Deep into the Gospels, okay? Jesus at the peak of his ministry. It's the best time to be in there. Give us a like, think about it. But until tomorrow, we'll keep going. See you then.